Mayong adlaw. Today I'd like to talk about the parable of the stewards or the talents na tawagan uh, on a different perspective. Doon ito nakisugot nga ang Bible. Jesus himself, in the gospel, the message about him is like a diamond, di ba? Multifaceted. Wherever you look at it, it's very beautiful. But you can't only look at it at one side. Diba? Naisgutan po nato na kabayan sa paradox. A lot of the things in the Bible, the truths, the facts, they're very paradoxical. But then we know that they intersect there in the cross. They intersect there in Christ. So, wherever you look at it, guwapo gayon siya. Bisan kining mga storya sa Bible, like the parable of the talents. So, dugay nga panahon, igamit kini siya sa pag tawag na guilt trip kanato nga kinahanglan ang atong mga talent, whether it be money, time, or unsa man nga nasa imo gift sa imo, imo ka nang ihatag sa Ginoo kay naay pagpaningil sa maabot. But as we go on, we see that yes, this parable is about Christ. It's a parable that there's only one faithful servant, and that is he himself. He's the one who really worked and then invested, so for our benefit, dili para sa benefit siyang kaugalingon. It could be on that angle, but today I'd like to talk about it, that it's about faith and work, pagtuo ug ang trabaho. Ang tao nga gipakamatarong sa Ginoo, tuo siya sa Ginoo, dili man ni kinabuhi nga sa tao gani tinamad pero it's really a life of understanding who you are. Your worth is there in Christ, and that is really your motivation to really work. Now, when we say work, dili lang ni siya titulo sa trabaho, dili lang ni siya sa imong gabuhaton sa imong kinabuhi, but anything sa imong kinabuhi that we could be that requires work. Okay? Now, before we talk about that one, we go into that angle. Maybe on Sunday we'll talk more about that. But I will talk about work karon nga punto. Now, work is actually as a gift. If we go back to our lessons dito sa chronological Bible study, at the very beginning, work was a gift. When God created the man, Adam and Eve, they were given the garden. Yes, they were given to name it, but of course, you have to take care of it. Di ba? Dako gusto nga luna. And they work with it and work on it. Itrabaho nila, but ang kalainan lang kay walay kalipay sa pagtrabaho, dili hago, dili sama sa pagsulod na sa sala, pag-abot sa sala nga no matter how you work, kulang ang abot sa yuta, di ba? Mamuntayon niya kang Adam. No matter how hard you work and toil, you sweat, your labor on the ground, but it will always be not enough. Matuingon dito. And then gihimo pod nga bisan sa mga kababayan, and ang pagpanganak, it is laborious, still labor, work. So, mayon kita kung walay sala din ang reproduction sa una, ang pagpanganak, dili gid siya problema, di ba? Even ang the moment before you give birth sa bata, it's called labor. So work gyapon related, and it's not good anymore. But before that, it was very good. It was a gift. Now, in the time nga the Lord will restore His kingdom, nastoryahan nato ni kang Isaiah. We've talked about this if you remember. Na there is this kingdom, kingdom of peace, kingdom of glorification, kingdom with no more pain, di ba? Dito anindot. And then it seems that our lives there will be normal, is the restoration of the beginning of time dito sa sa panahon ni Adam and Eve. And work will still be there, but it will not be so hard, it will not be unfruitful, but it's something that we enjoy to do because diba gitagaan tagay diya nga the kingdom. So ngoban man gud ang ato, we only look at it as heaven. It's always presented to us as heaven, but we know kingdom is more than heaven. It's heaven and earth coming together, diba? And atong idea sa una nga unsa na dito, maglingkod na lang dito, magsiga-sigata nga murag mga hayag kayo. No, it's only Christ who will shine there, and there will be no need for light. That's what Isaiah 60 says. Ingon din in verse 19, no longer will you need the sun to shine by day, nor the moon to give its light by night, for the Lord your God will be your everlasting light, and your God will be your glory. So at that time in the kingdom, the coming of heaven and earth, and It's all new. Okay, it's not all about sitting down and singing. This is where our minds are hard to wrap this idea. But we will still be who we are, di ba? Kita ra gihapon. And we will be doing the things that we love to do. But mo karon di na siya unfruitful, di na siya kapoy because it's still a gift. And I believe, judging from what Isaiah is saying, the things that we love to do, we will do it there. Simple as that. And there is still work at that time. That's why, going back to our idea of work, there is the dignity of work before sin, and there is this demeaning of work when sin came. But in the kingdom, in the coming of the heaven and earth, new earth, there is again the dignification of work. There will still be work, but again, it will not be unfruitful. It will not be the same as Adam, that when you work, then it will not be enough. But of course, it will be a wonderful time. So now that we are still here, we are still awaiting for this kingdom to be established. When Christ comes, maginayang buhaton, He will establish His kingdom. Now nga napamanta din ni karon, we are still awaiting for that. We stand on the truth, because what happened in the story, in the idea of the demeaning of work, kung sa may demeaning, nawalag iyang pulos, ang iyang tinuod nga pulos. Ang nahitabo na karon, ang atong worth na karon, ang atong value, naa na didto sa atong work. Mao na ang problema, kay di ba? Perminti ta mangutana, unsa trabaho nimo? Di ba? Ang trabaho now becomes your title. It's what defines you as a person. And then we see that naay trabaho nga mas taas, naay trabaho nga mas ubos, di ba? Pero tungod kay ang atong value wala din na sa atong trabaho, na din na kang Kristo kay gihigugma ta niya. What does the gospel say? He died the death that we deserve, and He lived the life that we should have lived. And because of that, because of what Christ has done, we are accepted, we are forgiven, and we are His beloved more than we ever hoped for. That's why, di ba, in the intersection of the cross, there is the decimation of pride, but the affirmation of our worth. Di ba? Again, that we are forgiven, accepted, and beloved. And our worth is there. It's not on what we do on our work, because basically, that's what happened in the world. Di ba? Kinsa man ka, unsa imong trabaho, pila imong sweldo, pila imong income. And that's how defines a person now. But no, what defines us again is Christ. Christ who loves us, and because of Him we are forgiven, accepted, and beloved of the Father. So what is work right now? It's actually a gift. You know, whatever you do as a job, as a means of living, even the simple things that we do at sa atong balay or sa man, these are things that really give from God, and we could see it that our value and our worth are not from those things, and that's why we are free. We are free to do these things in the excellent way that it should be. Diba? Okay. Our worth is not in there. So we will talk more about that next Sunday. How does this relate? And about the parable of the talents. So, mo lang na karon, padilitas ang atong discussion, and we'll talk more about it on Sunday. So, hope everybody is having a great week, and see you Sunday.